through advanced holiday?
Oh, look, the simple story is that he's he's got obviously had some history with his knee, so he's given it a bit of a bang, and we've made an assertive and aggressive decision to make sure we take care of that right now. So he'll have a little procedure, and he'll miss a little period of time. But like we've done so far this year, we're making sure we get them in as best shape we can possibly get them for a later part of the season, hopefully.
Is that a lesson again from last year about pushing players?
No, I don't think it's a lesson at all, because we did what we did last year for different individuals for the same reasons. This is no different. This is just knowing that Ivan, we hope, will be a ruckman for our footy club for a good period of time, and a small procedure now might save us some long-term grief. So.
Is there an idea of how long?
Oh no, I think with any little knee scope, you're probably 4 or 5 weeks, I imagine, but I'm only guessing. So I'm not sure what we let out in the media, but that's about what I would expect.
So it's Sweet, and just Sweet, or are we going to keep talking to ruckman?
No, Sweetie will play. He'll be the number one ruck, which is great. I mean, in every little bit of a down story, there's a positive story, and that is for Jordan to get an opportunity. And obviously Dante's also played very well in the Magpies last week. So both boys very capable. So we feel really comfortable. We've got the right replacements for Ivan. Oh, I think he's shown at the level below that he's just too good at that level. As a dominant last year over in Victoria as a VFL ruckman, and this year even in the SANFL, he's been really strong for us. We think he just needs and looks for an opportunity to show what he can do at AFL level consistently. And this is he's played last week. He's had a taste. He gets another opportunity this week to get some confidence that he's out there doing it.
Dixon returns?
Yes.
So how much more do you want to change it up, particularly after what happened last week?
No, right now, the teams will come out later today, but Dixon and Boak will come back, and we'll name the rest of the side this afternoon.
Dixon going to help out, Ruck?
Sorry?
Dixon going to help out?
He'll play in the forward line, and he'll help out in the forward line as a ruckman at times, and he'll probably at some stage need to help out a little bit up through the middle.
Just on Lear, rolled an ankle yesterday. Is the assumption that he kind of gets through today, and that's the box?
Yeah, he's fine. I don't think there's any problem. I mean, yes, he did roll his ankle, but if you see him when they do give their ankle a little roll, I won't say carry on, but they can hobble around a little bit. So he's fine. I've just spoken to him. He's good as gold. We don't expect anything to go wrong unless he rolls his ankle again today.
Just some clarity on the shoulder. When was the injury from? It said old.
He gave it he's got a history of a knee, so that's the old part, and he gave it a bit of a bang. So just a simple knock in the game that creates a little bit of a problem, that he's a little bit sore, not quite sure. He honestly thought he probably could have pushed through and played this week, probably next week, but the reality was at some stage this little injury was probably going to slow him down, and we needed to fix it.
Did that have any reasoning for subbing out Sweet, or was that purely tactical in the end?
No, that was not to do with last week.
So how does what happened last week echo into this week? People keep pointing out the record against top 4 clubs, the issue of uncontested ball when it doesn't work in your favour. So how does that echo into this week?
It's an opportunity for us to improve. That's because I can't play the narrative that it's not, and defend the narrative that it's not worked against the better teams. We own that. We acknowledge that we've still got to get. I said that last week in my press conferences, that we have to still close the gap, and we haven't managed to do that yet. So we're working every week, and tomorrow is a great opportunity for us to look to improve in that area.
Is there a standout issue or note in your mind as to why that gap remains?
No, we understand the detail that's behind our issue, and we work really closely on a weekly basis to try to rectify that, and we're doing that again.
So what do the midfielders learn about the moments last week, and even against Fremantle where the numbers were working against them? What did they learn about contention?
Again, as a team, we all understand that it's not just one part of the team or one part of the ground that's causing some of our concerns. We point out, we're able to do it pretty well against lots of teams. But there is a game or two that pops up, and regularly against the better teams that we've failed to get that job done, and that's the collective team. It's not just the midfield, and we think everyone. I said that to the group through the week. Everyone hears this word around contest and contested possession and ground ball and things, and we just automatically all zoom in on the midfield. If you actually look at the game really closely, you'll find that it's the whole ground. It's not just one area, one particular area that can hurt you, and it can be from a different position in a different game and a different opposition. So we all want to zoom in on just the midfield battle. It's not accurate just to zoom there, I don't think.
There's been a stat floating around the last couple of days. You guys have conceded, I think, 50% of your points in the time between the 20-minute mark to the end of the quarter. I think the next highest is about 39%. Why do you think that is? Is that mentality thing? Is that a fitness thing?
It's certainly not a fitness thing. So it's obviously an execution thing at the end of the quarters, and that's our challenge again. All parts of your game at some point will cause you weakness and cause you problems, and we'll point out the obvious ones when it's going in that area. Because it wasn't. Our first quarters haven't been good enough, or this hasn't been good enough. We always fluctuate a little bit with the narrative around what actually happened in the most current game or two, and that's fair to work towards. But consistently, we've been pretty good, but we've failed in some bigger games.
Has that been something that's been under the microscope, the kind of end of quarters where you concede more points? Or is it something that...
You might be surprised, but we do that all the time. We spend our time in all those situational parts of the game regularly, and every club does. And the ones who are doing it really well are the ones who get acknowledged for doing it really well, and the ones who are dropping off at different times will also get pointed out. So I think it's the rolling stories that go around with AFL football, is that there's a different story most weeks, and and depending on how you perform, that will be what I get to sit here and answer.
Zach Barter's 100th game. What's he meant to the footy club?
He's been pretty special for the footy club in a short period of time. He's obviously he's the vice captain now of the football club. He's a great story. He's a great pick by our recruiting team, who initially identified him at pick 12. I think he may have been, Zach, and to bring him into our club and to see the way he's attacked everything he does from the time he's got here. It's no surprise that he's played a quick 100 games, and there's no surprise that he's at a level now that we recognise him as one of the premier players of the competition. So thoroughly deserved with the way he's gone about it. We're just really pleased that he's playing for Port Adelaide.
Obviously, we had Connor recently with his 100th, but have you had many players in terms of their first game to their 100th game performing at that sort of level that Zach has in his first game?
Yeah, again, it's easy to get in the moment. It's hard to say there's too many that have been too much better than Zach or Connor. And, we've got plenty, but most of the competition, these young players. I mean, you only got to look at the Harley Reid story that's coming out through West Coast. It's these really young, talented people who come through now. They do play at a really high level as soon as they arrive, and remarkably, you sit back and reflect how quick 100 games go, but the level that they performed at, it seems to be getting better. Not just for our players. I think it's part of the competition.
What's your read on St Kilda?
Ross Lyon coach team, who we totally respect and know, and they didn't have their greatest week last week. We didn't have our greatest week, and both teams will be really keen to show that we're better than that. We know when you come up against Ross, you typically come up against a really defensive team who are really, really hard-working and high-pressuring team. So we're going to have our work cut out if we don't come purely for the contest initially, and then secondly to be able to work through all those minutes in every game to get to the end of each game and each quarter and make sure that we find a way to be in front at the end. AFL footy is really so tough now that there's not a game that we come to in any way differently, and we don't make St Kilda out to be any different to the team we played the week after or the week before. It's just hard. You just got to be ready to play.
You've been really supportive of Jen McIntyre, what he does in a defensive role, but has he lacked putting something on the scoreboard? Is that putting him on the edge?
Yeah, look, let's keep it away from individuals. As a team, we've not played as well as we'd like to last week. We're 4-2. We've played some pretty consistent footy, but we haven't always individually or collectively haven't got it done.
Oh, no, Anzac, the significance that you get this privilege to play.
Yeah,
Again.
It's a real honour. It's absolutely a real honour for our footy club. I think we're 20 in a row that we've been involved with, bar a COVID year. It's a real honour with 165 past and present members of our footy club that have been service people. I just love the Anzac Day story now that we all recognise it much, much better as a society. Those people who went and fought for us and still do today, you just can't do anything more than take your hat off. We respect them so much, and we respect this opportunity.
There's no comparison what they went through, and then we use words like battle and all that.
No, there's absolutely no comparison.
Do you build anything in this week?
I just build the respect into the conversation around, we get an opportunity to respect this round as a club in Adelaide, and we love that opportunity, and we hopefully more often than not we can live up to that and play in a way that makes people enjoy the game of football that we're involved in.